Welcome to Christian News and Views. We're getting pretty close to the new year, and I'm excited about that. But we're still in this year's 2025. So here is episode 296. Now, by the way, when this year ends and we begin a new one, a new numbering system will be started up as well. So this is very close to getting to be the last one of this is Monday, so Tuesday and Wednesday will be the last episode. And then we begin brand new episode one. Although it'll be slightly different than just one. I haven't finalized that yet. But welcome to Christian News and Views. And this is Monday. And today we are looking at some news that could lead to even better news as this year comes to a close. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is seeking security guarantees from the United States that could span up to 50 years as part of a potential peace settlement with Russia that the Trump administration put forward. Zelensky told reporters a day after he met with President Donald Trump in Florida that the United States offered 15 years of security guarantees. But he said that he told Trump the war has been going on for nearly 15 years already and asked the administration to consider a longer commitment. I told him that we really wanted to consider the possibility of 30, 40, 50 years, and this would then be a historic decision by President Trump. The president said that he would think about it, Zelensky said, according to Al Jazeera. The comments came after Zelensky presented his version of the plan to Trump and top U.S. officials on December 28th at the president's private resort in Palm Beach. The leaders said afterward that they had made substantial progress on a security framework, but had not come to an agreement on the fate of the Donbass area in eastern Ukraine, where Russia has seized most, but not all, of the land. Russia is pushing Kiev to retreat from areas of the region that are still under Ukraine's control and concede the territory in any peace deal. Ukraine has indicated a willingness to turn the disputed land into a demilitarized economic zone. At a news conference with Zelensky after the talks, Trump said thorny issues remained and it was possible that the conflict would not abate. The leaders spoke to the heads of several major European governments by phone for an hour after their private discussion, with another round of in-person talks potentially taking place in January. So here's my opinion. A workable peace treaty seems to be progressing. Now, I didn't plan on saying this before, but just now when I was reading to you the article, there's a little bit of a concession here by Trump, and he says that it was possible that the conflict would not abate. And so in politics, you have to look sometimes, pick up the rug and look underneath it. So this might be a warning that a true peace treaty will not be coming soon. And I do believe that's what I've been saying all along. This is a difficult one. Not as difficult as the one in Israel, which has not. We have a temporary treaty there. I don't even think it's a treaty. I think it's more of a ceasefire. This agreement seems to be holding. But that's something that won't be truly permanently dealt with until Christ returns. That's my belief, my opinion on that. There's going to be some pause, maybe a treaty that will bring some kind of peace. We know that after the rapture, there will be a peace treaty that will last for about, the treaty will be for about 7 years and it will last only 3.5. But, that's typical. But in the Bible, that particular breakdown will bring on the persecution of Christians, of Jews, of really of anybody who doesn't sign on and get the number of the Antichrist stamped on their forehead or what, however they're going to do it. So that is a one in which man cannot by itself by themselves ever come to a conclusion on it. That one will take Jesus Christ when he returns, and he will settle the thing once and for all. But there is a right now, as far as Ukraine is concerned, there is a workable peace treaty that seems to be progressing very, very slowly, but progressing. There are what has been called thorny issues, which may have to be dealt with separately. The reason I say that is because sometimes, and this may be true in this one, sometimes they get all so big that they're encompassing in a lot of things that could be dealt with separately. And everybody wants to do everything in a big, huge package. This, when I started out in life, they didn't do things that way, and I don't believe that it's a very successful way. It's a good, successful way for one side to get what they want, and the other side to lose. It's not really a compromise. So I usually market it as one, but not really one. And so I don't really think that you have to have a huge deal. And there's some things that they can make side agreements on that within the treaty might be there might be problems and so forth. And it's just an extra problem that has to be dealt with, and holds up the whole works. So I suggest that they consider those things uh, where they can deal with some of these things separately, and then deal with the hard stuff in this comprehensive bill or treaty. Ukraine has backed down, by the way, from some of its earlier stands, but I still don't know what Russia has given up. Their little 3-day action that they had done, what was it? Back in what was it? It's going on 4 years now, almost. So when they first started out, that action was supposed to be just 3 days, and they were going to have all of Ukraine under control. Well, first of all, I don't think they did the research, and they were totally wrong on that one. Going almost 4 years now. So the current negotiations seem to be about Russia gaining through political maneuvering what it hasn't been able to gain militarily. It certainly shows too. A lot of people are saying that this war could end up being the invasion of Israel. I tend to doubt that for several reasons. And I don't really want this to be about Israel today, but just as a throwaway here for you. First of all, the Bible talks about Israel being at peace, Israel having unwalled villages. That's a military terminology, and it simply means that they have, for instance, they have their Iron Dome. Well, I would expect that if they're going to peace and they're disarming, that Iron Dome would come down. There's still the Iron Dome is still there, folks, and their military is still one of the best in the world, and they still are updating and upgrading their weapon systems. So they're not at peace. They can have a relative peace, which doesn't require all that. But for what the Bible talks about Russia coming down and invading a nation where they're unwalled villages, that speaks of attacking a nation that's at peace with them, at peace with the world. And right now that doesn't exist. That's one major reason why I don't think this is going to be lead to an attack on Israel. It simply doesn't match up. The other reason is this: the Bible also speaks of a very powerful superpower coming from the north. Do you really consider Russia a superpower? They got nuclear weapons, yes, but they have shown an incompetence. They have shown inability to take land by strategy. It has to, when they take land in Ukraine, It is after they've thrown thousands of lives away to gain an inch. That might be an exaggeration, but it's not a superwoman. So as I said, they're trying to gain politically what they didn't gain militarily. If Putin really wants peace, then I believe he needs to make concessions, real concessions, verifiable concessions, lasting concessions to bring about that peace. To stubbornly say that Ukraine has to do so is not facing the facts. If the United States backs out of this, I believe that the European Union will get more involved in this, and Russia will find itself in deep, deep trouble. So until Russia is willing to make those concessions, I'm not going to hold my breath. I can't hold my breath that long. And so we're not going to see peace there until somebody, and the Ukraine's already backed down on a number of issues, and some that require a political resolution, such as going to the people and changing their constitution, and that can take time. We know that here in the United States, how when we want to change things, especially add amendments and stuff like that to our Constitution, it takes time because you're involved in getting the word out there and getting the people involved and getting so they can make an intelligent vote. So this is right now does not look like it's imminent, but there are some things I think that a ceasefire would be great. Right now, Russia is negotiating at the table, but they're also killing people, innocent people, even as we speak. And so, again, why should Ukraine trust Russia when they won't even pause their battles for these negotiations? There's no white flag here, folks. They're holding negotiations, but that's about it. So, personally, I'm a little bit how to say this. I'm a little bit encouraged because things are moving along, and every step they get closer to this, there's going to be a opportunity here to strike a bargain. And so some people think that Putin truly wants to have peace. I'm not one of them, but there are those who do, and they deserve to be able to explore that. But at the same time, I don't know how long Ukraine can continue to just hold their own peace. And yes, they do counterattack. And yes, you can use drones to reach deep into Russia. And that just makes it rather apparent that there's going to be a price to pay if Russia pushes this forward any further. There's going to continue to be a price to be paid, and whether Russia can be Russia will recover from them because biblically speaking, I believe that's the nation that's going to come down and invade Israel eventually. So they will recover, but it's an expensive thing. And when you lose lives, you don't recover the lives. You lose them, they're gone. These are people, not just numbers. These are real people. And they're dying by the hundreds, by the thousands. And so, prayerfully speaking, we need to pray for peace there. And I think we need to pray that Putin and his generals do see some writing on a wall, so to speak, and decide to concede some things and to make some real, meaningful concessions. Well, that's it for today. I hope this has opened your eyes to some more stuff, giving you something to think about, chew on, talk about, form your own convictions on it. If you disagree with me, feel free to leave comments. Be nice about it. Don't seek to name calling or trying to undermine me or anything like that. Just give your your opinion and why you have that opinion. And then we have a format there that we can negotiate, talk over. And maybe it will end up on this program someday. So I always try to inform you, encourage you, and inspire you. Hopefully, I've done something like that today. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.